Let me just check. Yeah.
Yeah, you look good, man. So I'm back with Amaresh Mishra. We're doubling up tonight because Amaresh is free. So I thought we'd kind of debrief what's going on in the war, but also we can talk a bit about the South Asian region and Bangladesh. Maybe why don't we start with Bangladesh, Amaresh? So,
Yeah, sure.
Sheikh Hasina, she's the daughter of the most prominent leader of Bangladesh's independence from Pakistan. Bangladesh was East Pakistan until 1971. There was a war. It was pretty brutal. India supported Bangladesh's independence, fought war with Pakistan. Um, Bangladesh became independent, and Sheikh Hasina is the daughter and kind of used that legacy. But the proximate issue leading to her leaving office was a quota law for, I think, government jobs, where 30% of government jobs would be reserved for families of freedom fighters, which nobody's against freedom fighters, but it was kind of upsetting to see, I guess, for students who were looking for their own futures too. And that led to demonstrations and that's kind of cycle of demonstrations and repression. And eventually she left. This is what I have gathered from the protests, but I imagine you will have a bit. Yeah,
I have this kind of a historical insight
yeah.
into the whole what happened in Bangladesh. You see, if you go back to the 70s, and if we cut short, if we uh, keep the Bangladesh liberation war aside for a moment in 71, you see, when Sheikh Mujibur came to power in the after 71, and he was ousted, and I mean, he was killed and ousted in a coup in 1975. Why did that coup happen? That coup happened because suddenly in 4 years, the army got the message that basically Mujib is trying to convert Bangladesh into a one-party state, which he was trying to, because he actually had abrogated the constitution in 1975 January, and he had made himself a president for 5 years, and political parties were not supposed to function. These are, and at that time, even Indira Gandhi was thinking uh, along those lines, and she also imposed the emergency at the time. But in Bangladesh, there has always been a crisis that after the liberation war, the the spoils have not been distributed. Like people who, like for example, uh, many of the uh, many of the leaders were outside Bangladesh. They were either imprisoned or arrested. The army which was turned out, I mean, which was part of the Pakistani army, but then it rebelled. Uh, and it is the army which fought there along with Mukti Bahini. And so the army felt that they didn't get their due, and people and politicians who were outside Bangladesh, and this is well documented. And people outside Bangladesh, they came and they kind of assumed leadership. Number one. Number two, the other thing is that the legacy of the paramilitary forces, or because I mean, remember the Mukti Bahini. The Mukti Bahini played an important role along with the Bangladesh army. The Mukti Bahini played an important role in that uprising,
So
and the Mukti
for the listeners, Mukti Bahini is the name of the guerrilla, more or less the guerrilla
yeah,
movement
yeah,
for
yeah,
independence, and I think a lot of them were organized in India,
in
in
India,
refugee
yeah,
camps in India.
yeah, yeah, by
Millions of people were displaced
raw,
during the war,
yeah,
and
raw had an important role there.
Raw being the
They
research and intelligence wing, which is the
yeah,
Indian CIA or the
whatever,
Indian, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So many of these, and many of the Mukti Bahini people, they had arms which they refused to uh, hand over. And if you see today, what is happening today, and I'm linking the two things. In 71, 72, many. factions of Mukti Bahani, they refused to return the arms, and then they turned into marauders and gangs, and so all those issues, and Mujibur Rahman could not control those forces. Right now, today, there is a statement in paper that the new Bangladesh administration has given certain time for people to return their arms. Today, because again, arms have been looted. People have arms, and it is not as huge as 71, but it is still very significant to the extent that, in fact, Mohammed Yunus has had to issue a directive that you have to return your arms. And I think this is going to be a major sticking point, because people there, once they had arms, they were, kind of snatched away from them, and you know, Mujibur Rahman became unpopular. There were many other reasons as well, but I'm concentrating on the immediate triggers. What triggered, and so there is a very interesting parallel. And today also, um, not today, like what is happening now. There was a genuine student uprising, and Sheikh Hasina had kind of was uh, was trying to create a one-party state, as was done by her father. Uh, But Sheikh Hasina turned the Bangladeshi economy around. She sort of implemented these neoliberal policies, and and Bangladesh, the per capita income was, everything was there, but the structures remain the same, and the tendency of Awami League to monopolize all the fruits, uh, that again came into play. And she ruled for a really, really long time, since 2008, and then there was this throwback, which is there, especially. Although, the interesting part is that Bangladesh is not a banana republic, but it's a country of like 17 crore people,
Yeah, it's a
117 million.
it's a huge country. It's
Imagine, I
one of
mean,
the biggest. Yeah.
yeah, if you combine France and Britain and Germany, so and although the land mass is smaller,
Yeah.
but the people, it is one of the most densely populated regions of the world. So 17 crore people, imagine. So they can it is not an upheaval in a small country,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
a country with a small population.
So
It is
yeah,
basically
17 crore for North American listeners is 170 million people.
million. Yeah, absolutely,
That's a
absolutely.
huge.
So
Can we
these are huge
talk?
numbers.
Can we talk a bit about Mohammed Yunus, because Mohammed Yunus is known internationally as like the microfinance guy. So he has some kind of cachet in the United Nations and international non-governmental organizations as there's a book about him called The Banker to the Poor. And microfinance to me is basically a destructive program. It's pretty far from what is needed in a rural economy. But I guess bringing him in is like somebody who's trusted and who's an outsider and who's got no baggage. Is that the idea?
Actually, it is more than that, because the role US has played and Sheikh Hasina has accused the US of trying to grab, the Saint Martin Island, and trying to establish an American base there. And in fact, but she pointed out specifically that before the January 2024 elections this year, a white man approached her, and all those things that basically, and America has been. It is true, because China is building a port in Cox's Bazar, which is very close to Saint Martin, and China has invested about $7 billion in the Bangladeshi economy, whereas US investments are 3 billion. See, and there is this US China competition, very very a very very open kind of this thing in Bangladesh. See, Cox Bazar versus Saint Martin. Now, Saint Martin is very crucial, because America wants to dominate China in the Indo-Pacific, and especially the Malacca Straits. So for them, Saint Martin is very important, although they have denied that no, I mean there was no such, I mean there were no such conditions put before Sheikh Hasina. But the fact is that conditions were put, and so so basically, I mean the American angle. Acha, India saw Bangladesh as a reliable ally. India saw Bangladesh as a reliable ally, and but again, the problem is that the Indian right-wing government kind of took advantages during Sheikh Hasina's rule, like establishing its own people, the major power projects going to Adani, and there's this huge, power project like 90, where Adani is to be paid $90 million per month. $90 million per month, and he generates power in Jharkhand in a Godda power plant, and that gets supplied to Bangladesh. And this has been going on. So India was trying to, I mean, not much. I mean, not much in terms of investments, they, uh, but there were many political appointments, and there were people there. There was a rumor among Bangladeshis that Indians are getting this, prime land. They're getting some prime positions, and they're misusing it to suppress our people. And Sheikh Hasina was not getting the right feedback. I mean, it is very obvious. She was in that cocoon of turning around the economy, of being this liberalizer, and she didn't. And all these liberalizers, all these liberalizers in third world countries, they ultimately, uh, Americans boot them out, somehow or the other. Although all these reforms are guided by IMF and World Bank only, but then Americans, when they want something, they don't get it. They boot that ruler out,
Yeah, they
especially
like to
in.
have turnover. They like to have a new
Yeah,
person once in a while, every once in a
yeah,
while.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nobody gets too comfortable.
But this time, Justin, I think the student uprising is genuine. I mean, there was a huge. I mean, there's huge mass participation, and as in India, the, the reform, Manmohan Singh reforms are now stuck in jobless growth.
Yeah,
Same in Bangladesh.
yeah,
Same in Bangladesh.
exactly.
And because it's a smaller country than India, so there the anger, and that safety valve of elections is not there. So you have a sudden burst. Otherwise, in India also, if you see these elections, 2024 elections, so for the first time, the IMF, World Bank, the whole agenda was implemented in 1991, and it was in 2024 that that those became issues. I mean,
Right.
jobless growth became an issue during elections, and people reacted in a way that they gave only a minority kind of a mandate to Modi, and that is the Indian way of of rebellion, because here
Yeah.
here we have because here we have elections. So people wait for elections, that we will punish and we will do this, we will do, and this time they did. Despite the system, they were able to exercise their will in at least a major part of the country. So
Mm.
that is something which prevents India from going in that direction. But one shouldn't be, too cocksure about that, because Modi, the the way he's moving, and the way he's still kind of, the policies are not addressing the basic issues. India also can see an uprising like this. You see,
I
there's
mean,
a
there was some kind of uprising in Pakistan to support Imran Khan, and that's
yeah,
still playing out in some ways, you know.
yeah. The
It's just
problem
that,
in
yeah,
Pakistan is extreme. Uh, what should I say? Extreme sector. E- extreme sectarian kind of divisions, which are all
right,
uprisings there are also sectarian. They are for
right,
a political party. They are
yeah,
behind. The difference is that in Bangladesh there is this mass element was there, which cut across boundaries. It was against Awami League, yes, but then again, many students who were of Awami League student organization, they also ultimately participated in the movement.
Mhm.
In India, India has one good thing, that such uprising like the uprising against Indira Gandhi during emergency, or then later, uh, you know, uh, during the 90s, and then there were many other small initiatives by the people, which brought change. So all these things are they when India also has a tradition of kind of a non-sectarian mass uprising.
Yeah.
So this is it happens slowly because of the because elections are held here. That is a fact. The
Yeah.
elections are held here. Maybe they're unfair to some extent, but then there is always a balancing factor because there's so many states. So if it is unfair in one state, uh,
We get another
the
crack
Congress
at it.
Congress wins the other state. And this time at the central level also, we have I mean, we have a solid opposition, which was missing from the last two elections. So I
So
think, yeah. Please go ahead.
just to sum, so let's kind of sum it up. I mean, we're still very much in the middle of the Bangladesh situation, I guess. So we'll have to
Yeah.
see how it goes. But I don't know. I imagine they're going to try to hold elections. I don't think Mohammed Yunus is going to try to hold on to power. I imagine there probably will be an election fairly
There
soon.
will,
And
yeah, and we might see a situation where the students come to power, like it
yeah,
happened in Assam in the 1980s, when after a student movement, the Assam Gana Parishad it came to power, but nothing came out of it. So let's see. And Bangladesh is still very fluid,
yeah,
uh, and uh, and America, one still, you see, this Saint Martin thing. If America gets it, under because
yeah,
Mohammed Yunus is seen as pro-American, right?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so if he somehow, although it will be political suicide for him, but if he does it, I mean, if he grants Saint Martin to America, there'll be another uprising
Yeah.
because because that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one
Well,
thing,
hopefully he doesn't have the mandate to do that. I mean, it's
no,
supposed
not
to be a
now,
caretaker. Yeah.
not now. But you see, the other opposition figure, Begum Khalida Zia, she's in no position to govern because
Right.
she's not well. She's well past her kind of fighting years, and so there is no one else
I
except
see.
the army.
So you think Eunice is going to run and win? Is that the idea?
No, Yunus is going to. I mean, he'll be forced to win in a
Yeah.
sense because there's no other option.
I see.
And with students forming part of the government,
Hmm.
uh, like the students are also there. The interesting thing to watch out for would be whether the students form their own party.
Right. Right.
That is
Okay.
that is something. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Let's stop there with Bangladesh and move on. Um, okay.